Hello, this is Dr. Brian Weiss, and I'm very excited to be returning to Italia May 25, 26, 27 to do one of my 3-day workshops sponsored by My Life Italia. My followers in Italy have sent in some questions that I'm going to answer now on this video, and I want to thank you for sending them in and looking forward to meeting many of you when I am in Lake Garda for the workshop in May. The first question comes from Katya. It's, "Hi Dr. Weiss, it's a pleasure to know you through the years, through your works. My mother left her body on January 5th. I know I have to let her go, but I would like to know how much she can still interact with me." And what I find from my research over these years, since I began doing this in 1980 with Catherine, the Women in Many Lives, Many Masters, is that those people who leave their bodies, they're still with us because we are not our bodies. We are souls, and souls are immortal. So they're still with us. We're not aware of them quite the same way. We don't interact physically quite the same way, but they're still with us. They often appear in dreams. They appear in other intuitive ways. So love, Katya, never ends. It never stops. And your mother and all loved ones are still with us. We're always being reunited, either on the other side or back here in physical state when people reincarnate. The second comes from Rita, who asks, "Good morning, Dr. Weiss. The phobia of staying in close places, without windows, and in elevators, and feeling like choking to the point of feeling sick. Can all this be due to an awful death in a previous life? This kind of phobia is with me always." Rita, I find that these kinds of phobias, like claustrophobia, fear of being in small enclosed places, these often do come from past life traumas. Some people who have died buried alive in avalanches or in other ways, earthquakes, mudslides, and they have claustrophobia in this life. But when we do regressions and they remember their death in a previous life, that fear, that phobia often disappears in the present life. It's no longer there. It doesn't always happen. This is a very good approach, Rita, because it's very safe, it's very effective, and many phobias are treated very well. They can often be cured by past life regression therapy. The third question is from Monica, who asks, "My question is simple but complicated. It is something I've been wondering about for a long time. How long does it take for a soul to reincarnate in another body?" From my research, Monica, there is no time on the other side. Souls are there. They're existing, they're aware. We can often communicate with them, and there is no time. So they can come back as quickly as a few days, or it can be a year or years or a century or more. It depends on the need of the soul for learning and who they want to reincarnate with. There is no one set time. It can be very quickly or it can be much longer. One thing I have also found is that people who have died violently or died as children, they often reincarnate more quickly. They come back more quickly in order to complete their tasks, their learning. So, Monica, sometimes people say to me, well, what if I die and I go to the other side, but my grandmother is already reincarnated and I miss her? You won't miss her. She'll still be there. Her soul is in the body and out of the body, on this physical plane and in the spiritual plane. You'll always be reconnected. The next question is also from Monica, I think a different Monica. "Can the name given to a child in memory of a dead loved one have karmic effects on the person who will carry that name for all their life? Thank you." I don't think the name has karmic effects. Karma is usually learning, that you're responsible for all your actions, and your actions have consequences. And in future lives, you have to make up to those people that you've harmed, and you feel the appreciation of those people who you've helped or loved. That's karma. But a name may have energetic implications, and people who are numerologists are always writing and talking about this, not karma, but just the energy of the name. So you should name someone out of love, and that will work out the best. The next question comes from Andrea. Dear Doctor, I listen constantly to your meditations, and sometimes it happens to me that I fall asleep and just wake up the last words of the meditation. It doesn't feel like I am sleeping, even if I dream. How do I understand that I have entered a higher level, and that if things that I call dreams actually are visualizations of past lives or future lives? Thank you, Andrea. Well, Andrea, I don't think you're actually sleeping because you're waking up at the end of my meditation when I'm counting up usually. I think you're just going into a deeper state. And to me, that deeper state is important. It doesn't matter if there are visualizations, dreams, past life memory, future life memories. Just pay attention to everything that happens. The intuitive wisdom and knowledge that we all have is very important. You'll get messages in this deep state, in this dreamlike state, and the messages will be very important because the usual filters are gone when you're in this deeper state, and you can connect to higher sources and higher levels. So I think it's all important what you experience, and then the task is to interpret, to understand what you have experienced. But I'm very happy that you're getting into this deep state. Now, when you see a therapist one-to-one and they talk to you, you will not fall asleep. You'll go into the deeper state, but it's in better control. So you may be interested in that. But on the other hand, what you're experiencing is very good and very useful and very helpful, and I would just continue to do what you're doing. The sixth question is from Giada. Dr. Weiss, I would like to ask you if what we call deja vu can be interpreted as contact points with past lives. Actually, sometimes it feels strongly like I already lived some moments, and it seems to me like I am getting a confirmation that my path is right. Is this interpretation correct? Yes, Giada, I think absolutely correct. Deja vu experiences, that is a feeling of familiarity, as if you have met a person before or been in a place before, often are indeed connected to past lives. You may be in a geographical place, you've never been there before, but now visiting, you start to have this feeling of familiarity. You may have messages, dreams, visions, memories of having been there before. And deja vus often are past life fragments sort of coming into your conscious mind. So this is also a very good thing. The next is from Marco. I have been hearing more and more often that children choose their parents with whom they will be born. It is very fascinating to me, and I would like to get your opinion explanation about how it happens. Marco. Thank you, Marco. This is a very important observation. I think we do choose our parents. I write about this a lot in my books because it's too important. We choose our parents. And by the way, my daughter Amy, in her book Crescendo, has written about this in very clear detail in her novel Crescendo. We choose our parents, we choose our life situations, we choose the lessons that we come back here to learn. So it's not accidental, coincidental. Even if your parents are your adopting parents, that's still part of choosing. Sometimes the path is blocked, you choose a birth mother, but you wind up with someone with whom you've also got connections, past life connections. So indeed we do choose, and it's a very important connection. Marina writes, Dr. Weiss, how can you understand which is your life purpose? I'm 35 years old, I have a lot of interest, but I feel like I'm not guided by any vocation. This is a complex question, Marina. Often you have to do meditation, introspection, have past life experiences, and you start to feel, to have intuitions where you should go. You should go into a vocation where you are happy, where you feel it's purposeful, it feels important, it feels meaningful, and then this is how you choose vocations. Sometimes it helps to go into past life therapy or to see someone who can help you. It's not always about past lives. We choose our lives, we choose our lessons. We come here not accidentally to work on these lessons, to learn about love in all of its manifestations. And the vocation, the profession you choose is very important. I feel it should be one where you can feel good about it, it has meaning, it has purpose, and it's not just about money and accumulating things or ego or social status. But if you keep meditating, Marina, keep looking at past lives, you'll get answers to your question. Dr. Weiss, I have read all of your books and your daughter Amy's book too, Crescendo, so beautiful. I'm a great fan of yours and I would like to know how you spend your days. Would you like to share with me how is one of your typical day? Love and esteem, Patricia. Well, Patricia, I hope you don't get disappointed, but my days are not all cosmic. Many of my days I spend very quietly. I try to be more introspective, do a little meditation. My wife Carol and I are practicing yoga now. We do that more often. We try not to do too many stressful things. We try to bring more peace and joy and happiness and calm into our lives. We travel a lot, so sometimes just being at home is a wonderful break. We teach, and so we try to find the right balance and harmony. And as we get older, we look to keep that balance, to nurture ourselves, to continue our work, and yet to keep the balance there. So we have hobbies like golf and things like that, reading, traveling, meditation, yoga, as I mentioned, and try to practice what we write about in our books. Antonio writes, Dear Doctor, I love the themes you deal with, and recently I've been getting into children's past life memories. For you, is it a good thing encouraging children to recollect past life memories if they start talking about them naturally? I have a 3-year-old nephew, and he often talks about things he did when he was big. Can it be useful for him to talk about it? Thank you for your advice, Antonio. Many people, Antonio, are looking into children's past life memories. There's a therapist in the United States, Carol Bowman, who's written a book about children's past life memories. I don't work with children, but many people have written me this question or asked, and there are many books about children's past life memories. A child who recognized crewmates from World War II, who was in the Air Force, and Pearl Harbor. A child who recognized a lifetime as a Major League Baseball player in the United States, who died in the 1930s. Many more of these stories are coming through, so I don't think it's harmful, especially when children talk about these naturally. Children do remember, oftentimes, when they were big. They do remember past lives, and if parents let them talk about it, there's a lot to learn. The memories tend to go underground in children when they start school, and they don't want to appear being different or strange or unusual, so they stop talking about these memories. But I think it's very safe. I wouldn't push your child. If they're not talking about it, don't push that. If they don't need, you don't need to push it. But if you ask them, especially when they're in that drowsy, sleepy state, we call it hypnagogic state in English, just before falling asleep, they often talk about when they were big, and they'll remember things. It's safe, but you don't have to push them to do it. Elisa writes, Dear Dr. Weiss, I'm going to take part to your next seminar in Lake Garda in the end of May 2018, and I can't wait to listen to your words. I'm practicing with the meditations. According to next seminar's program, can you advise some specific exercises to get prepared properly? Thank you, Elisa. Well, Lisa, you're doing exactly the right thing. You don't have to really prepare much for these workshops. The one in Lake Garda in the end of May of 2018 is a 3-day workshop. We'll go very deep. You'll have lots of experiences. But the proper practice is what you're doing now, just listening to my CDs, practicing meditation, going deeper. That's all you have to do. So if you come in relaxed, come in with an open mind, come in wanting to learn more, come in not having a very strict agenda, like I have to remember this past life or I have to heal from this illness. But if you're just open-minded to experiencing what you experience, this is the best way. So practice relaxation, practice the visualization and meditation exercises. You don't have to work too hard at it, just a little practice. Come in with an open mind. What you experience, you experience. You'll have a great time at the event in Lake Garda, May 25th through 27th. Just two more now. Antonietta. Hi, doctor. I've been feeling deep fears for all my life. They create anxiety in me and force me to run away from anything and anybody. Even when I feel I could relax, even when I reach my goals, I cannot let go and let down my guard. Can regression to past lives help me? I confess that I am afraid of them too. Well, Antonietta, I think you have to do it. Your fears often come from the past. Many of our fears come from the past, childhood events, past life events. And if you just gather the courage to begin this kind of therapy, you'll see that you relax more. You'll practice relaxation techniques, going deeper, getting rid of fears. This technique is really good, powerful, effective for getting rid of fears. If you're able to come to the workshop, I don't think you mentioned whether you're coming or not, but that will be an interesting 3 days if you're able to be there and let go of fears. We'll have other therapists at the workshop if you want referral, but I think if you're able to do that, that would be great. This technique does work, and fears are what I tend to really want to help people with, because fear blocks us from experiencing happiness and joy in our lives. Love dissolves fear, understanding dissolves fear, and as you gain more understanding, more control over your fear, you'll feel better and better. It's worth, Antonietta, it's worth practicing this. Get rid of your fear of my technique. This is going to help you. The last question comes from Federico. I would like to know if meditation, along with reducing stress, is useful for mindfulness as well. And what is mindfulness? Is it a mental state? Is it a practice? Can you advise any specific meditation to get it? Thank you, Federico. Federico, to me, mindfulness is an awareness of what is in your mind. If you're thinking, you become aware of what you're thinking. If you stop thinking, you become aware of the sky, the clouds, the birds, the sounds, the smells. You're not thinking, you're just mindful, being in the present moment. That's what mindfulness is. It's an awareness. So it is a practice, because the more you practice meditation, mindfulness meditation, the deeper and deeper you can go, the more mindful you can become. And so it is a practice. There are many books about it. One of my meditation teachers, John Kabat-Zinn, who wrote a book in English called Wherever You Go, There You Are. This is a book about mindfulness, and it's a very good introduction to mindfulness meditation. I write about this too in my books. So it's this mental state of not thinking, of being in the present moment, of just being aware. That's what it is, Federico. And I wish you well. Try not to get frustrated on your journey. I want to thank all of you. It's been a pleasure communicating with you. I look forward to meeting some of you or many of you in Lake Garda at the end of May at the workshop, and inviting all of you to come. It's always wonderful for me and for my wife Carol to be there and to teach this course. So thank you, and until we meet again, arrivederci.